Guys, 1057, it's out, and I have some strong thoughts on this chapter. And guys, just hear me out. Everything I say here, just know it's with love, okay? Because this wasn't a bad chapter. I mean, I'm not gonna preface it. We're just gonna dive right into it because this was one of those chapters that is gonna need a lot of discussion because I have some feelings about it, and I just want to know how you guys feel about it because it's just one of those, okay? We're going to start from the top and go all the way to the bottom. You guys have been enjoying the longer reviews, so the longer reviews continue. Okay, did we just see Luffy's mom? I don't know. Everyone's talking about it, saying the person that was holding and singing to Uta is Luffy's mom. Well, considering that Luffy met Uta later in his life, not sure how that would make sense, but I guess it could be his mother. Shanks picked up this random girl and now he has to take care of her, but she's keeping him and his crew up at night. But now here's this random woman that is singing. Could be Luffy's mom, be Shanks' mom. We have no idea, but Oda is blurring these lines in between canon and non-canon, and it's starting to make me tipsy. No, it's just starting to make me uneasy. All right, because are those lines going to be blurred with the other things, like with Shiki, with Zephyr, Bullet, Gil Tesoro? Like, I don't know. Either way, let's get to the cover story because that's fairly interesting as well. Last chapter, you guys know how I feel about Cat, all right? I think Cat's the GOAT. Last chapter, he was about to attack. He's about to attack the raid suit warriors. The Vinsmoke, he's about to attack them. What I said, okay, this doesn't smell like a straight up battle. Why doesn't it smell like that? Well, we know Katakuri should decimate these people, so someone else has to come in and do something. Well, that person is Gangsta Gastino. Gangster Gastino is doing something with his gas. But of course, for us, we know how the story goes. We understand that Katakuri has future sight. But if Caesar uses gas that you can't see, it's a carbon monoxide. Katakuri is knocked out. He sees the future. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what's coming. I can't stop it. Not gonna die, but you know, that's a way Oda can incorporate this. But it's like, why is Caesar helping the Vinsmoke? I guess that could be his easiest way to get out, and somehow convincing them that he's still useful. There's no way he would do that with the Whole Cake Island pirates. The Big Mom pirates. So the Whole Cake Island pirates, because who knows where the hell Big Mom is at this point. But it's kind of a weird thing, but it makes sense, right? Caesar, how I'm justifying it makes sense, I suppose, right? He's trying to get off the island and he's using the path of least resistance. Fighting Katakuri, I don't know how that sums up to that. Either way, we'll see what happens next. But this was somebody interfering was expected. They can't beat Cat on a regular basis. Cat and Oven. Just not happening. So now we enter the final chapter of the Wano arc. A lot of people are dropping their ratings. You guys can do the same. Whatever you rate the Wano arc, put it below. Expect a full Wano video, right? Just revisiting Wano, reviewing Wano. Now Wano is completed. We can talk about it in its totality as an arc. There's so much to talk about, but we'll get there. However, this is the final chapter of Wano. We started off. It starts with a weird ass speech, but it's trying to encapsulate everything that's transpired in a glowing way. It's almost like a send off. And after reading that low key, I was like, okay, this feels finite, right? It feels like they're singing their praises before they leave. And we know in the last chapter, they were at the port about to leave. So it was like, okay, it was somewhat telling and setting the stage for what was to come. And of course, because it was a stage play, the kabuki play, it all fit, you know what I'm saying? We move forward, and apparently Yamato says that she is not going with the crew, meaning that she's staying in Wano. And weird choice to me for several reasons. One of those reasons is the build-up with Yamato. I would say Yamato has had several Straw Hat moments while she's been in the Wano arc, but it's like, it's just a weird thing. Even the reasoning that she's giving, right? To stay back and tour Wano, etc., etc. You've had 7 days where they were knocked out. So much time to go around and explore, because time has been going, time has been passing, and now we're here. It's like, no, I'm staying in Wano. When I think about Momonosuke and everything that he did versus Green Bull, if anything, it showed that Momonosuke still was not ready to protect Wano. Obviously, And we all knew that. And Yamato knows that. But Yamato's entire dream was to go out to sea. And so this is your opportunity to go out to sea. You're saying you want to do it the way Oden did it, Yamato. But let me break it down. Is this a bad thing or a good thing for Yamato not joining the crew? Being honest with you guys, I think it's a good thing currently because Yamato still has a lot of growing to do as a character. Yamato joining the crew would only muddy what's already going on in the Straw Hats. We have a lot of characters. We just added Jinbei. So Oda has to juggle all these characters and then whatever characters he introduces in the way to an arc on an island or within that island. So now say you introduce Yamato, Carrot's sneaking onto the boat because more than likely that's what she did. You have 11, 12 characters you have to juggle in every single scene for the most part because they're Straw Hats while they're together. Like I said, you doing this would relegate Robin to just book duties continuously. Morbid comments, book duties. You don't have time to flesh out other characters. When I say flesh out, expound, moments. You have so many characters you have to balance. So that's the positive about Yamato not joining the crew. The selfish reason why I wanted Yamato to join was to bolster Luffy's crew. Luffy has a new Yonko, right? Walking around with Yamato as a commander, in addition to Jinbei, Sanji, Zoro, as close to unstoppable as you can think of. So that was my selfish reason. I wanted to bolster Luffy. Now, her not going, a lot of people are looking at it saying Oda went out of his way to trick you. He gave all those Straw Hat moments that people say, gave Yamato all this hype to just basically say, no, Yamato isn't joining. It doesn't feel good as a fan. It feels like Oda was tricking a lot of people. Again, I am indifferent. Whether she joined or she didn't join, it was like, oh, it's cool. But now it feels like a weird choice. It feels like Wano is lacking its purpose. Of course, the purpose of Wano is this story, this saga that started all the way, you could say, Punk Hazard, when we got introduced to Momonosuke and Kinemon. Because now we're following the story of Wano, right? But now, once we get to Wano, I guess it's so many subsets of stories going on. Yamato is one of them. And so we're in Wano, Yamato's story, she's trying to follow in the footsteps of Oden, reading his journal, all the important things that she even knew, you felt like they'll be fleshed out when Yamato goes to the crew. So within that grand story of Wano, that grand saga, that final wrap up of this saga, Yamato was somebody that was very important because she had Straw Hat potential, but then she was emulating the person that we found out about that was the hero of Wano. So for a lot of people, they felt like growth was coming for Yamato, and that growth would take place on the Straw Hat crew. They felt like Yamato would change, she would grow up, she would mature and realize that she can be herself. She doesn't have to be Oden. It feels like Yamato's entire purpose. For some people, again, these aren't what I'm thinking. I'm just seeing what everyone's saying because Twitter is in a tizzy right now. People are saying Yamato's only purpose was for the boys. To bring her, introduce a character that can help the crew while they're in Wano and show off some side boob. That's what people are saying Yamato's purpose was. It's not necessarily to be a good character, which I think is a bit far, but I can understand why you would say that. Again, it's not a great feeling with her not going with the crew because then you question everything, or you could question everything that transpired up to this point. I don't think it's a bad thing, guys. It's almost like the Dendro thing when Dendro disappeared for a long time. And I was saying to you guys, Dendro disappeared because he's going to make an appearance later down in the story. And the whole point is for him to save Hiyori or to save someone. Oda made him disappear so you had no idea when he was coming back. And because of everything he did for Hiyori back then when she was up until now from her being a kid, he essentially raised her. There's a special level of care there for her. For Yamato, pop back up in the story at some point and she will be with the crew, just like Vivi. But here's the thing, her wanting to be like Oden is a problem. And I'm happy that version of Yamato, Oden, this Oden mystical thing, I'm happy that's not on the crew. But I would have liked for her to be on the crew. Again, a lot of people in a tizzy, they are upset, but I get it. And for the people that are huge fans of Yamato, Yama bro, all that different, sorry, today just wasn't your day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, so many different ways I think this could have been handled, in my personal opinion. Yamato's staying, and she's not going with the crew. Insanity. Again, even when they're saying, like, are you sure, to Yamato? She's like, no. Oden's journey started with the tour of Wano, right? So I want to do it that way. Yamato, be yourself. You being yourself is going out to sea. You wanted to go with Ace. Luffy is right there, his brother you've been waiting for. You have the opportunity. No shackles are holding you back, other than the shackles of Oden. See, the thing is, Yamato does not realize that she's shackled by the visage of Oden. She doesn't realize that. She's so gung-ho on being him, she doesn't realize how wanting to be Oden has literally kept her in Wano. You are shackled But one thing about Yamato, and one thing I really want to stress to you guys, is that now is the time to hit that sub button. All right, you've been watching this video. Now is the time to subscribe to enjoy more content like this, because that's how we keep it going. All right, so look down, make sure to subscribe because you watch a video. Sometimes people don't realize they're not subscribed. Make sure you subscribe. If you are, drop a like. If you're not, of course, hit the sub button. All right, but seriously, there's going to be a ton of discussion about this throughout the next week because it's just one of those. The Momonosuke and Luffy flashback was a bit much, but it just reminded you of everything Momonosuke has been through. And as I've said several times before, Momonosuke is one of those characters who had probably one of the best character arcs in One Piece, from where he started from to where he ended up. There's not many characters like him, if any. And so the flashbacks, the point was to give you the feels, didn't do too much for me because, again, rewatching One Piece, reading One Piece for so long, a lot of these moments feel fresh in my head. So I get what they were trying to do here, to basically drum up that moment at the end where Luffy and Momonosuke meet again, which I thought fantastic moment. Kinemon here is hilarious, right? And at the time, I didn't think it was too funny because I'm like, Kinemon, what are you talking about? You're not doing anything with Monkey D, all right? But either way, he's willing to go to blows with Luffy, their savior, for Momonosuke, because he's a little mad. I mean, and this is gonna carry over really well, just how mentally just weird the people of Wano are. Like, but I understand it. Like, there's good and bad everywhere. In Wano, no matter who you get rid of, you get rid of Kaido, there's still gonna be good and bad. And so what we saw at the end of the chapter is a glimpse of not, I guess, chaotic evil, but somewhat neutral evil, if that makes sense. Kinemon's mad because, again, Luffy is leaving without saying goodbye to Momonosuke and Kinemon. Yamato's like, you're overblowing it. Now we jump to Law and Luffy and Kid, and Law's like, yo, we are not friends, bro. Y'all are friends. Y'all are friends. Law's a dude that has a girlfriend, taken out to dinner dates everywhere. This girl on Instagram, on Snapchat, and all of a sudden he's like, yo, we not together. Yes, you are. You just don't know it yet. All right. So even when he's saying that, it's like, oh, sure, whatever, bro. Whatever you say, my G. But we all know what the case is, right? I love the contrast of Momonosuke, Luffy, and even Yamato and Kinemon. This moment, I think, in the anime is going to be just fantastic because they pull up to the shore, the dock, and they're about to leave. Seems like they're waiting. And to confirm, they were waiting for Momonosuke and Kinemon. And for me, when I was reading the last chapter, when they were the main two that were left, I was like, okay, those are the two people that were with them the most. This is going to be an extended goodbye. And that's exactly what it was. I said it would be difficult for them to not want to go to Straw Hats. They spent so much time with them, and everything the Straw Hats did for them, it's hard to let go of that. And they enjoyed their time with them. So it makes sense. It's just a real wonky way to get to it, especially with Yamato being, knowing that she wants to go with them. It's just, there's no resistance, there's no apprehension, but I guess once she makes up her mind, she makes up her mind. I guess as we continue, it just shows just how much Luffy has grown, because in that situation, Luffy says that he is a big baby, right? A weakling, a crybaby. But in the same breath, he gives him a flag, and the flag is the Straw Hats flag. And Luffy's saying, these are for my friends. Anytime you guys want to be Straw Hats, let me know. We'll come get you. They're not only messing with you guys, but they're messing with me. So anybody that messes with my friends, they mess with me. Straw Hat Luffy. So something that I thought about was, how do the Yonko view Luffy? Like, if they see Luffy's flag, are they like turning around saying, all right, this is Monkey D. Luffy's territory, we don't want any problems? Or do they still underestimate him because he's a brand new Yonko? Like how Green Bull was underestimating the Alliance after knowing they took down Big Mom and Kaido. That's what I was thinking, you know what I'm saying? I think this speaks to Luffy being a Yonko and his Yonko status, because this is big energy. This is big Yonko energy. Yo, hang this up somewhere. Anybody pull up, let them know that that's me. That's me, big dog, big D, big Monkey D. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. But I absolutely adored that part. Again, the only reason I feel like Yamato's staying behind because Momonosuke got his ass whooped. And he's just like, all right, you know what? Maybe I can stay a little longer, right? Maybe I'm gonna stay a couple more weeks, then I'm out. Okay, just a couple more weeks. But how you got your ass whooped? You need some training. Okay? And then it's like a weird thing because of that, Momonosuke said, I will surpass Kazuki Oden. So cool. That's dope. And I love Kinemon saying he'll be by his side when he does, because I can just picture Momonosuke being, older, a bit more buff, looking more like Oden, and then Kinemon is right next to him, maybe some gray streaks, right? Just being his right hand, being the big idiot that he is. And it's a cool scene, a cool moment. And I talk about a possible spinoff towards the end because Oda may be leading towards that. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm like, is a spinoff happening? But we'll get there. So for the most part, the last act, the last part of the chapter, very controversial for several reasons. Not with Luffy and Kid and Law jumping off the waterfall, going to wherever they're going. But the final speech, they talked about Hiyori, and Hiyori, when Orochi was about to die, apparently Orochi, before he died, he said, the Kurozumi family's grudge shall continue to curse this rotten land, generation after generation for all eternity. That's what he said before he died. Hiyori didn't budge, and she stood up to him because she doesn't have the opportunity, she doesn't have the wherewithal to hold her tongue anymore. She doesn't have a reason to. So now she's like saying everything she needs to say. Long story short, Hiyori says that the Kurozumi was born to burn. And people are waiting for translations because it could be charcoal, and it's like a pun on Odin was born to boil, so now the Kurozumi, they're born to burn. Either way, the context in what she's saying is problematic, in my opinion. And you guys, some of you guys know how I felt about it. I was saying that the people of Wano, the reason why Orochi can't die is that we need to break the system. Your father does something, that doesn't mean you're guilty, right? The son should not suffer the sins of the father. Like when Ace and Roger, that's what Roger told Garp. Yo, a kid should not have to suffer for the sins of its father. And with the government going and trying to kill all the newborns when they knew Ace was somewhat alive, this is what it feels like by saying the Kurozumi was born to burn. Even if Hiyori does not enforce burning actual Kurozumi, because one of my points was that Orochi was out here slinging cock. Okay, he was out here slinging it because he was a shogun. He has kids out there. The people that are saying F the Kurozumi, some of them are Kurozumi because Orochi was a shogun. He was out here. And so to just be so naive and ignorant, prejudiced, just because of Kurozumi, they were born. And I'm reading so much into it because that's the literal translation. People saying it's a pun, terrible pun, just bad taste. I don't like it if that's exactly what it means, because you're starting out, or you're somewhat saying that this is okay. But the people in Wano, they love burning shit. They're burning young Inu and Neku before they knew what they were. Even Kanjuro, they love burning things and people. So it's like the message, I get it, right? Because part of the message, like I was saying, is that sometimes good shit happens, and even when good shit happens, bad things still remain. Bad ideologies, right? The winner, they choose history. They tell you what the history was. And so in this instance, the Kozuki, they won, so they get to tell you about the Kurozumi and how terrible they are and how they are born to burn. The spinoff I was thinking of is how Hiyori has the mindset she has in Momonosuke. He's literally trying to learn all these different things, being a good person. What if they clash, right? Oda, that could be 100% a spinoff in the future where Hiyori, with her influence as the AIN and the Kumasaki, and then you have Momonosuke, who's the actual shogun, and they're both fighting for different things. Like, I don't know, Hiyori being the Danzo and then Momonosuke being the third Hokage. Either way, it was a very interesting way to think, and I really want to know how you guys feel about it, because it was jarring for me. It was really, I was like, wait, that's it, right? Which that's not really it. It went on a bit more. I mean, it ends off with the people of Wano cheering, and then it's a shot of Momonosuke and his scabbards, his daimyo. And so that was a beautiful panel. I'm not sure if that's the panel Oda was talking about, saying he couldn't wait to draw, because if that's what it is, you were hyped. We were really, really overhyped. Either way, one of those chapters, I could talk about this for another 30 minutes, but we're not going to do that. We're going to save that, because like, what the heck is going on, right? But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Leave them all below. You can even rate Wano below. And in addition to how you feel about the chapter, because this was a doozy.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.